It's really important to stay secure. And I want to mention this because it's easy to get hacked. I got hacked a few years ago, and it costs $800 to get that fixed. You know, and I could have come out even a lot worse. So there are some things you can do to stay secure. One of the first things you can do is change your login URL. A lot of people have, you know, the WP admin, and that's where hackers can go and start trying to log into your page. You should change your username as well, because that's always admin by default, and you should have a strong password. You could use something like LastPass, which not only will create a strong password for you, but it will also update your password. One good thing about WordPress is it allows you to have other users that you can give different permissions. So let's say, for example, you have like a writer, you want them to post on your blog, or somebody who's going to manage your blog for you. Well, you can actually give them some type of user permission, so they don't have to have admin permission. So they can still go in and do stuff for you, but you don't have to give them complete control of your blog, which is, you know, can be helpful of doing more stuff. But the problem is, if you do that, you can sometimes overload your WordPress blog. So you want to pick and choose your plugin carefully, because you can have conflicts and problems and things like that. Sort of like accessorizing, you know, sometimes accessories are good to have and they work well together, but if you have too many, it can be a big mess. So two security plugins are WordFence and Bulletproof Security. A good question. Vicky asked, you have both WordFence and Bulletproof Security on your site? No, I currently just use Bulletproof Security. Security plugins in particular can conflict with each other. So these are two ones that you can use. I am using right now Bulletproof Security, which is, so I would just say find a good one. There are also a lot of these plugins for security will have a basic option and a paid option. In most cases, you're fine. You should be fine with the free option and not have to do a paid option. Another thing you can do, if you do end up getting different domain, you know, different not web pages, but different blogs, or have different domain names, is you can get what's called a web host manager account. And this is actually what I moved to after I got hacked. So basically what ends up happening is each of your sites is in its own little CPAN, and so if something happens to one of your sites, it doesn't get infected and get into the other sites, because that's actually what happened to me, is I had one site get infected and then it spread to my other sites as well. But you don't have to worry about that till later. I just want to mention it in case you start thinking, okay, I want to build out to more sites, or I want to have more sites. It's best to have them so they're quarantined, so they can't infect each other if something happens. And I mentioned earlier about maybe, you know, if you want to maybe consider upgrading from a basic account, a good one can be a VPS, which is a virtual private server. So it's basically like having your own server, but the hosting company partitions it, so it's like you have your own server, but you don't have to pay quite so much money. There's probably more technical stuff to it than that, but that's about all I can think. And with those, you can pay anywhere from like $30 to $80 a month. But I do think they're a little bit better in terms of handling traffic and things like that.